Hi friends, welcome back to Sarah's Next Chapter. My name is Sarah and in this video I'm going to be ranking the 26 Greek mythology retellings that I have read so far. So without further ado, grab your tea, coffee, fruit juice, water, whatever you fancy, and let's get into it. Okay, so I thought it would be fun to do a tally of how many Greek mythology books I have read thus far. Bearing in mind I started reading Greek mythology retellings in 2022. It's 2026 now, and so far I have read 26 Greek mythology retellings. So I decided to just solely focus on Greek mythology. I have read other mythology books, but I thought I'd leave them out because when I tallied every mythology book I'd read, the number came to 38 and I just couldn't wrap my head around how I would do something with that number. So I thought, let's just focus in on Greek mythology because that is my preference. So I have ranked the 26 Greek mythology retellings that I've read from best to worst. Sounds quite harsh, but basically the one that I loved the most is at number 1 and the one I loved the least is at number 26. We're going to do it in descending order. Yes, so we're going to go from the bottom to the top to end on a positive note. As always, my emotional support iPad is here. I just thought I'd tell you like the criteria and give a bit of a disclaimer at the start of this video. I'm by no means a historian, I'm by no means an expert in Greek mythology. I just enjoy it as a genre. As a genre. I'm going to say genre like that now. It's my favourite genre. Okay, so basically the criteria for like my favourite one would be it's just the one that I loved the most. It impacted me. I was immersed in it. It was memorable. And also the ones that are higher up the list, I felt like told the story in a different way or like really had something to say. It wasn't just a retelling for retelling's sake, basically. But yeah, I'm by no means an expert on Greek mythology or history, so I've not taken into account how like historically accurate or true to the myth or any of that stuff. I've not read the original text, so yeah, I just wanted to put that out there. And these are just my opinions, and yours might differ, and that's okay. With that disclaimer out the way, let's get on to number 26. So my least favourite out of the ones that I've read so far is Herc by I can never say her name. Phoenicia Rogerson. So I think I'm just not really into Phoenicia's style of writing. I know that some people really enjoy it. It's just not really for me. And I'm actually going to clump the next book together because it's by the same author. So 26 is Herc, 25 is Aphrodite, which I have here, by Phoenicia Rogerson. So these have been my least favourite out of the ones I've read so far. Now, I wouldn't say they're bad books. They're just written in a certain way that's very modern, very tongue-in-cheek, and I just don't really gel with it, I think. It's not that I'm looking for my Greek mythology retellings to be told like trying to be pretentious or like as if they're trying to be classics. They don't have to be particularly like prosy, but this just felt too modern and too tongue-in-cheek for me, and I just didn't really gel with it. There was also something in this book, I can't actually remember what it was. It was a name. That's right. It was a nickname that one of the characters calls Aphrodite in this that literally made me feel sick. I just didn't like it. It's just, I think Phoenicia's writing will be for a lot of people. Maybe like a younger audience, maybe, I don't know, someone that's just getting into Greek mythology retellings, but it's just not for me. So there we have it. Number 25, 26. Number 24 is It's Medusa by Rosie Hewlett. Again, so it's not like I didn't like this book, I just honestly can't really remember it. I think this was Rosie Hewlett's first book and it was initially self-published, but it is traditionally published now. I know you can get beautiful editions of it. Yeah, I just didn't really remember it when I was making this list. I was like, I don't really remember this book. So I just had to put it low down. It's not, I quite like Rosie Hewlett's writing, I just didn't find this memorable. So, sorry. Number 23 is, I think I have this, I've not brought it up, that's annoying. Well, number 23 is Ithaca by Claire North. So this is a trilogy. and this is the first one. And it is about Penelope, wife of Odysseus, and what she's kind of doing while he's off in Troy. So yeah, I just found this a little bit boring. Like, I really wanted to enjoy it more, and I was quite excited to maybe dive into a trilogy. I don't read a lot of series or a lot of trilogies, but I do like it when I get a really good juicy one. But I just was like, when I finished this book, I was like, I don't really feel the need to read the next one. So 22 on my list is Atalanta by Jennifer Saint. Now, I think Atalanta is a really cool character in Greek mythology. She is the only female that accompanies Jason and the Argonauts on his quest for the Golden Fleece. So she's considered like a very rare female hero, which is really cool. But again, I just don't really remember this book. Yeah, I just don't really remember it. I remember liking it when I was reading it, but it's been maybe 2 years now, and I just don't really remember it. So I feel like a book about Atalanta should be really memorable. She's a really memorable character, but it just wasn't. Number 21 is Electra by Jennifer Saint. So I just found Electra a not very likable, not very interesting character. Like, actually, when I was reading this book has 3 perspectives. So you get the perspective of Electra, Clytemnestra, and Cassandra. And I actually found when it was coming to Electra's chapters, I was like, oh. But when it was like Cassandra or Clytemnestra, I was like, oh great, I want to know what's happening with them. I just wasn't as interested in Electra, which is a shame because the book's called Electra. Number 20, I feel like this might be divisive that this is so low down on the list. But anyway, number 20 is Piranesi by Susanna Clarke. Let me just explain myself, because I feel like there's going to be people that are going to be annoyed about this, right? This was a really unique book. 1000%. I've never read anything quite like it. It was so esoteric and just mysterious and interesting, and I really enjoyed reading it. I hated the ending. Yeah. And so now when I think of it, it's all I can really think is that, oh, I feel like the ending just really ruined it for me. I just really didn't like it. So that's why it's so low down on this list. I would still recommend reading it because I just think it is so unique. But the ending didn't do it for me. So number 19 is Galatea by Madeline Miller. Again, I feel like I need to defend this because how can I possibly put a Madeline Miller book so low down on the list? This is only a short story. And that is pretty much the only reason it's going so far down on my list, that I feel like I couldn't really put it any higher because it is just so short. I don't think it needed to be longer, however. I think it was well told. I think it was a good length for the story. I think it said what it needed to say, but obviously it's just not a full length novel, so you're just not getting the same depth and feeling and connection that you're going to get with a full length novel. So number 18 is The Shadow of Perseus by Claire Haywood. So I did really like this. I read this a good few years ago, and I can still remember lots of scenes from it. It really does stick in my mind, and I liked how it gives Perseus a different energy, a different perspective, and also like how it focuses on his mother, Danae, I think that's how you say her name. She's quite an interesting character, you know, she's kind of been through it, and I think it was cool to give her a voice. So I did like it. Number 17 is Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. So this is a Medusa retelling, and I think out of the two that I've read Medusa by Rosie Hewlett, I've read Stone Blind by Natalie Haynes. I prefer Stone Blind, and I did read that first, so maybe that impacted my enjoyment of Medusa by Rosie Hewlett, because I kind of felt like I've already read a really good retelling. I really liked Stone Blind. It really took Medusa a different way. I really saw the character in a completely different light. I really felt sorry for her. It was the first book that made me realise that Medusa is actually a really tragic character. So I really liked it. 16 is Heroes by Stephen Fry. There are a lot of Stephen Fry books coming up, so brace yourself. Heroes, so I've listened to all of the Stephen Fry mythology retellings on audiobook. I actually might clump these two together because 16 is Heroes, number 15 was Troy. They could be interchangeable. Like, they were good, but they weren't quite as good as Odyssey and Mythos. So yeah, They were good. I did enjoy them. I would highly recommend if you're just getting into Greek mythology to start with these, honestly, because they're really witty, they're really funny, they are kind of modernised without being too like modern, if that makes any sense. I think they're a good gateway into the myth. Number 14 is No Friend to This House by Natalie Haynes. So I listened to this on audiobook as well, and I really enjoyed it. It was dark. I also liked that Natalie Haynes voiced the audiobook, like she was the narrator. I think that really worked. I think she was the right person to do it. I know it's her book, but that doesn't always mean you're the right person to voice it, but I think in this case she was. It was quite a dramatic narration that she brought to it. She really brought it to life. So No Friend to This House is about Medea and the quest for the Golden Fleece. So Medea, Jason and the Argonauts, all that kind of stuff. And I liked it. I didn't love it. It wasn't my favourite, but I liked it. Number 13 I have here, and that is Pasiphae by Jane Doherty. Doherty. So this is a retelling about Pasiphae, who is the wife of King Minos and births the infamous Minotaur. So I was actually gifted this. Thanks again. I can't remember the company that sent me it. The Book Social. This was really good. This was a completely different take on the Minotaur, and I really loved it. I thought it was really interesting. Yeah, I would recommend this one, so check out Pasiphae. 12 is Clytemnestra by Costanza Cassati. This was fierce, this was bold. This really gave Clytemnestra her moment, and it is well worth a read. If you're interested in it, I would definitely check it out. I've also read Babylonia by Costanza Cassati. That's just not included in here because it's not Greek mythology, but really enjoyed that as well. Her writing is very immersive, it's very evocative, and I really like that. Number 11 is Odyssey by Stephen Fry. So this is obviously about the Odyssey. I really enjoyed this. Again, I'd obviously said before, but Stephen Fry narrates the audio version, and I think that is the way to consume these. For me personally anyway, I love Stephen Fry as a audiobook narrator, and it's really cool because it's his own book. He knows where the sarcasm should be, where the punchlines are, what he wants to highlight and draw attention to and stuff like that. So I would definitely recommend listening to these on audio. Number 11 is Psyche and Eros by Luna McNamara. So this is obviously a retelling of the myth of Psyche and Eros. This was cool. Felt quite fresh. Hadn't dove too much into that myth before I read this book, and I really liked it, and it was very evocative in terms of again the scenery and Eros's home that he creates for Psyche. I just have really vivid memories of that, and I could really picture it. I'm currently reading Luna McNamara's second or third book, The Witch and the Huntress, and I'm really enjoying that. It's just not included in this list because I've not finished it. But yeah, Luna McNamara could be one to watch. Number 9 on this list is Hecate by Nikita Gill. This is awesome. Obviously it is about the goddess of witchcraft, Hecate. Is she the goddess of witchcraft? Yeah. Because see, now I kind of equate Circe as being the goddess of witchcraft, but I think Hecate is the OG. This is completely told in verse, which is really cool. I've never read anything like it. So Nikita Gill is a poet. So yeah, the book is completely, I hope you can see this, completely in verse. And at first I was like, I don't really, how is this going to work? It just does. It just does work. It was really cool. I was about to say it's really poetic. But they're not written like poems. Like, it's not all rhyming, and you forget that you're reading it in verse a lot of the time. It's really special. I really liked it. 8, I also have a physical copy of this. It is Medea by Rosie Hewlett. So I do think this was a lot stronger than Medusa by Rosie Hewlett. I just felt like she really gave Medea a voice. She really fleshed her out as a whole person. Again, I read this I think I read this, when did I read this? 2023 maybe? Or 2024? Maybe 2024, so a couple of years ago. I still really remember it. I still remember like lines from this book. I still remember images that were created from this book when I was reading it. Yeah, really like this one. Highly recommend Medea by Rosie Hewlett. Number 7, I also have... No, I'm on number 7? Yeah. Number 7 is The Palace of Eros by Caro de Robertis. This is a Sapphic retelling of the myth of Psyche and Eros, in which Eros is depicted as being able to take the form of both male and female, and sometimes both. So this is a very LGBTQ plus friendly book, queer book. I talked a lot about this in a couple of videos ago. I can't remember what the video was called now. Sapphic books or something like that. So I won't go into too much detail here, but if you want to hear more about it, go and check out that video. I'll link it below. Really enjoyed this. Felt like it had something to say. It had a really strong message. It was quite spicy, which is a bit different for me. And I couldn't get enough. I could not put this book down. It was so good. You can tell we're getting into the ones I really love because I have physical copies of them. So up next, we're on number 6. And that is Hera by Jennifer Saint. I think this is one of the best Jennifer Saint novels so far. This is so epic. So Hera is Zeus's wife and she's the goddess of marriage. But I feel like she doesn't get talked about a lot. Like she doesn't get like her own moment a lot. And this was definitely her own story, her own moment. And I really enjoyed this book. It was just so epic. Epic is the word that keeps coming to mind. It was so vast in terms of like the time that it spans, the space, the amount of myths that are kind of encapsulated in this story. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one. So I think this is one of Jennifer Saint's best. 5, and that is Mythos by Stephen Fry. This is great if you're just getting into Greek mythology. I would recommend starting with this because it gives you an overview of the myths and it's told in quite a funny, engaging way. It's really accessible. It makes the gods feel very like human and relatable almost. It's really good. I had such a great time listening to this, so I'd highly recommend it. Number 4 is Sweet Bitter Song by Rosie Hewlett. So this is obviously her 3rd book on this list, and I do think this is by far her best. This is a Sapphic retelling or reimagining of Penelope and... oh my goodness, I can't remember her name. Melantho! Just read this, I couldn't remember her name. Penelope and Melantho. So yeah, this is like a reimagining of their story. Penelope obviously being the queen of Ithaca, wife of Odysseus. He is away fighting in Troy. Melantho is one of her enslaved women, and they have a love affair. Again, I spoke more about this in my other video about Sapphic books, so I'm not going to go too much into it, but I really love this one, and I'm excited to see what Rosie Hewlett does next, because I feel like with every book she puts out, she's finding her voice, and it's just getting better and better. Okay, we're in the top 3 now. Number 3, my top 3 favourite books of the 26 Greek mythology retellings I've read so far, and I actually don't have a physical copy, so I really need to get one, but it is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. So this was the first Jennifer Saint book that I read. I think this is the first one that she put out, and I love it. I actually do think it is the best. I really enjoyed this one. So this is a retelling about the story of Ariadne and Theseus and the Minotaur. And I just really thought, again, she really brought Ariadne to life. There was so much imagery in this. It was so evocative. I liked the relationship between Ariadne and her sister. I can't remember her sister's name now. I really like that relationship. I just really like. I'm gonna have to reread it. I'm gonna need to buy myself a nice copy and reread it because I did really enjoy it. And you know, it was one of those books that I really enjoyed, and then I think haven't really thought a great deal about. But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, no, I really enjoyed that. Like, I'd like to reread it. So it has obviously stuck with me. So yeah, that's number 3 on my list. Number 2, I know you're probably being like, where have these books been? Because they've not appeared yet. Number 2, my second... well, this is getting difficult. It's going to be my second favourite, but I can't. I struggle to separate number one, number two. But anyway, number two on this list is Circe by Madeline Miller. Now, if you know me really well, you might be surprised that Circe is not number one, but I do have a reason for that. I absolutely love this book. This was the first Greek mythology retelling I've ever read, and it sparked 25 more books. It really, really ignited my obsession with Greek mythology. So I have a lot to credit this book. It really gave Circe a voice, which I feel like she's not really had. I feel like she's a bit of a footnote in everybody else's story, and I love that Madeline Miller was like, no, I'm going to give her own story. It's just brilliant. It's so feminist and empowering, and it's just a great book. Just read it. If you've not read it, I'd be surprised if you're watching this video and you've not read it, but if you haven't, definitely go and read it. So number one, and this is probably going to be a shock to absolutely no one, but I think credit where credit's due, number one is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This book is, in my opinion, perfection. It's so beautiful, it's so tragic, it's so immersive. It genuinely sparked like a renaissance of Greek mythology and Greek mythology retellings. It has something to say about the love shared by Achilles and Patroclus. It is, a queer book. It's just, I just have no notes. I have no notes. I have nothing bad to say about this book. I'm planning on rereading it this year. I actually might take it on honeymoon with me, because I think that would be really good. We're going to Rhodes on our honeymoon, so I think I should probably take this and read it. Yeah, it's just stunning. I think even if you're not into Greek mythology or Greek mythology retellings, I think you'll love this book, and I think it might be cliche giving it the number one spot, but sometimes credit where credit's due. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's number one for a reason. So there we have it. That was 26 Greek mythology retellings. Let me know what you think of this order. Would you put some a lot higher? Would you put some a lot lower? Are there any Greek mythology retellings that you're like, Sarah, please, you have to read this? Let me know in the comments. I know there are loads that I still have to read that I haven't. I am a bit of a comfort reader in the sense that I kind of gravitate back to the same authors, and I need to push myself out of the comfort zone a little bit sometimes, so I do know that. But yeah, just let me know any thoughts you have in the comments. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you feel like it. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!